Well, you passed out. Let's see if something good came out of it. Thank you to our $5 patrons, Strawbones, Redwood4765, Midnight Gemlord, Artgoon, and Sean. Now, before I'm this breakdown / discussion of chapter 204 of Brutal, please don't here leave your own on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below in support for as low as count on $1 a month. You know, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? I'm Pencil here, and here we are to do a live reaction and review to chapter 204 of Blue Loco, which is known as Brothers in Arms. So let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. Editing me, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings. I do have the blade on me, and I keep it on me at all times. But speaking of times, let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into the reaction. Bro, you just waking up now? You just opening your eyes now? Dog, you know how long it's been? You know how many dynasties have risen and fallen as you slumbered, my friend? I bet you don't. Let's see. This is... Oh. No, dog. Are he in your bed like that? The fandom's weird enough, dog. Or not, I wouldn't say. Nah, the fandom's weird enough. In a good way, The fandom's hilarious. But like, really? No, I don't think he's an adult yet, Noah. You can't do that, Noah. That's bad. That's bad. He has his own bed. No, he could have dragged it. Bro, is he wearing a No, did you change him? Who changed him, Noah? Noah? I think this is beyond your jurisdiction, dog. Did you... I need to see the intermediary. Was it Kai? Who changed him? Because it wasn't him. Bro's just waking up now. Even if he had that underneath, who took his clothes off? Noah? No, don't tell me you like that, dog. Is that... No, that's terrible. But is that the true secret to being number 1, Noah? You drain the power of the youth in more ways than one? Huh? Nah, I know I'm just overly reading into it, but I just thought about it. Because, like, he is in Noah's bed. Because this is it's the master's quarters. So it's not like he's in a real recovery room or anything like that. He's just straight up where Noah sleeps and lives and stuff like that. So, no, I hope you at least wash the sheets, dog. Like, I'm not saying you're disgusted or anything, but still, like, people sweat. And like that musk, I don't know. I wouldn't want to hop in there. But then again, you know, this is probably Usagi's dream. in this resting in the same spot where the #1 striker does. I bet he's giddy, or he will be giddy once he finally realizes where he is. This is. Did you have a nice nap, Mister? I ran out of gas. See, Noah can be humorous. Noah can be a nice guy. All right, we like that. We like a little bit of humanization. Because I'll admit, the mechanical dribble and his mechanical style, it does make him like... He has emotional diversity, though. Don't get me wrong. I was about to say he's like the least interesting of the masters we've seen so far. Like, Lava Hino has had a much more interesting and fun personality. Obviously, Prince is my favorite right now. Like, it's still, even though he lost and didn't get a single goal, I gotta respect his hustle, bro. Bro's great in all ways. But Noah, he brings his own flair, even if it's subtle. And I like that. I can rock with that. But did you have a nice nap? Let's see. My body's so sore. I wonder why. Usagi, I wonder why your overworked, driven to the limits and beyond body is sore. Smartest guy in Blue Lot. Can't figure out how the body... Nah, I'm kidding. Let's see. How? You overexerted yourself and passed out. And you've been asleep for the past 10 hours. 10 hours? When was the last time I slept 10 hours? When was the last time any of y'all slept 10 hours? Nah. My athletes out there probably sleep 10 hours all the time. Because I think the last time I did sleep 10 hours was after I meet. But regardless, 10 hours is crazy. 10 hours is crazy. He called that a nap. That ain't no nap. If that's a nap, what's sleep? What's going to bed? What's nighttime? 24 hours passing out for a whole day. Now that I think about it, the last time Isagi had a major development like Metavision, and it was essentially hitting flow for the first time, he did pass out for an inordinate amount of time too. So I guess this is just a pattern. Isagi just doesn't have enough stamina. which is true, which is why he's gonna work on that. Hey, what would you like to drink? Water or coffee? Preferably water. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess coffee to wake him up, but I feel like coffee would jack you up, especially if you're sore. Oh, yeah, water. Thank you. So, how was it? Did you manage to defeat Kaiser? 50-50. Like, before we see Isagi's answer, if I had to say, I'd say they're about even in terms of, like, overall. Because Isagi has 2 assists. One that would have been a goal, that if Kaiser was not there, would have been a goal. And the other that was a conscious choice by Isagi to utilize Yukimaya instead to make up for his own lack of strength and to get Yukimaya on his side. So, like, I can respect it. But, like, I don't know. Once again, he beat, like, a casual Kaiser. You can look through the entire... I think the only time we actually saw Kaiser sweat was when he was 1v1ing Chris Prince. Like, physically. You know, the second best striker in the world. Like, that was the only time we really saw him get down and dirty with it. And be like, whoa, wait a second, let me lock in. Even when he entered Flow, which I consider just the activation of the Black Scalera. Which is it's so interesting. It'd be cool if we could enter Flow and just be like, Black Scalera. But regardless, even when we see him enter Flow, like when he stops Isagi's goal and he's like, whoa, excuse me, dog. Where do you think you're going? He's still not sweating. Meanwhile, Isagi was like dead and drained. Like 10-hour nap. So pure technicality, he did beat Kaiser. Because, like, he managed to work around Kaiser well enough to get assists, to control the field. He directly beat him in terms of, like, stopping his read and actually getting what he wanted out of it. So, yes, but at the same time, Kaiser's, like, still, as he should be, though. I'm not going to lie and say Isagi should have surpassed Kaiser in the game. But as, like, not just a player, but especially as a striker, Kaiser's he's still cooking. He's still cooking way better. It's just hard. And now that I think about it, the initial objective of the Man Chinese 50 match was to see which of the 2 philosophies worked better. And it was either BM's philosophy or Ego's philosophy. And Ego's ended up winning. It got the most goals. So do what you will with that. So I guess that's another technical, like, win over Kaiser. The fact that he only got 1 goal. Meanwhile, it was 2 Ego, well, really 3. You give it, 4. You give it to Corona, Isagi, Kunigami, and Yukimaya. Those 4 were kind of responsible for the other 2 goals directly. So you can definitely, I can chalk it up as a win, but as like a group win versus Kaiser, who was kind of outside of Ness, who helped him with his only goal. He was literally just running around, wreaking havoc all over the field, having a good time, barely really playing the game as seriously as he likely needed to be. Like Agi, another like secondary master, which is essentially what Kaiser is. And in the circumstances of BM, all Kaiser is a secondary master. Like Agi was trying to win after Nagi gave up. He could not. He did not get a single goal. Meanwhile, Kaiser literally just boom. First goal. So yeah, I can definitely see it. It's contentious. Let's see what Isagi has to say. He's thinking back. He's flashing back. He's taking a sip. Getting that slurp on him real quick. I need to refill that. It's been sitting right there on my desk for forever now. I need to wash and refill that. I've not been drinking water as I usually do in between recordings because I scheduled different now. But let's see. Yes, in a split second, I definitely. Oh, he doesn't say definitely beat him. He just says definitely. So I think even he acknowledges the fact that, like, yeah, while this moment here is great for him, he did manage to do the most against Kaiser. It probably isn't like a proper technical. It's like you said, it's only for a split second. Like for one instance out of the many instances Kaiser has beat him, he made Kaiser the clown, which is good. You know, really, sometimes, really, think of it like a win streak. Like, hypothetically, if you were on a win streak, it doesn't matter how many times you won before. The streak is now over because you lost once. So I guess maybe that's the conundrum in Isagi's head, where he's putting value on everything that Kaiser did beforehand, giving Kaiser's due respect on the W's he got earlier. However, instead, he still ended the win streak. So technically, in a split second, he did beat him. I see. So, what's next? Isagi, you're still on his bed, bro. Don't drip. Don't drip. That's disrespectful. I was about to make such an awful... Let me not. But that's disrespectful, Isagi. Wipe your mouth. Let's see. I want to defeat Kaiser as a goal. Ah, I see. I want to beat Kaiser as a goal scorer. Really, I mean, I guess goal scorer and striker can be two different things, but essentially beating Kaiser as a striker. And this goes back to the idea I had in the previous video, where like the 4-game arc will be first game getting on the field, second game developing as a playmaker, third game developing as a striker, being equals and fighting alongside each other for the 4th game against the Demon Team. Because, like, I get it. I've made a whole video talking about the spoilers. I understand it, Borrow fans. Trust me, I do. But if anyone's gonna actually make BM lose, it's not gonna be... I don't think it's gonna be Borrow. I don't think that'd be right. Like, at least to me, narratively, that doesn't make much sense. Because then it just makes the next... Because you could have BM lose 2 games in a row, but then that sucks. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna do that. At least I wouldn't do. Like, writing wise, I wouldn't do it. But then again, I'm not a P-Clock writer, so maybe it's different. But at least to me, I don't see Borrow winning. I see Borrow just barely losing, just barely getting devoured again. So then maybe we can have, like, a proper team-up. And who knows, maybe losing to Borrow would be the catalyst for a team-up. Say Isagi and Kaiser both get a goal, they're both equals properly now as strikers and as playmakers. And then they lose to Borrow anyway, somehow. And they go into the next game determined to win. So I get, I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it, Borrow fans. So I'm a little bit up there. Mainly because Borrow's the only striker. And we have, like... now I think about it, we don't have that good defense. But we do have the one speedy dude with the bug eyes. We do have him. We do have Raichi. We do have people who, hypothetically, if they were put to the right test, they could work on Borrow. And look, we even have Yaguri, who could work as that foul guy. You never know. I feel like we can make it work. I may do a whole little prediction thing. I may do a whole little prediction video about the Ubers match and see what my predictions are beforehand. But another video for another time. I want to defeat Kaiser as a goal scorer. I want to defeat Kaiser as a goal scorer. Okay? Can you verbalize your thought process? Yes, I can. In that last game, I found a new way to use my brain and vision. I call it metavision. Metavision. This is what I do like, though. I like how the story's sort of coming full circle. Because what did Isagi ask Noah before? Hey, how do I do this? How do I be you? Like, how do I become goated? And Noah's like, I don't know. You tell me how. And that leads to Isagi recontextualizing how he thinks once again, which is a big thing that Isagi does consistently throughout the narrative. That's why I enjoy him so much, because it's constantly just a manipulation of his own thought patterns. And now that he's faced this situation, now that he had the idea of what he needs to do in his head, he can now lay it out properly before Noah, which is something that Noah wants out of them. And I think that's good, because the thing is, Prince sort of... If I had to go over each of the masters, at least it seems to me, Lavahino's just flat out the worst. Well, not the worst. Because as he said, he's not necessarily there to teach you anything. He's there to just show he's the best. And thusly, it led to people on his team, really the only one being Bachira, developing a new style based on Lavahino, but that's it. Otoya doesn't even play any different, as far as I'm concerned. All he does is link up with Bachira now, and that's not very different, at least not in my mind. Manshine City, Chris Prince did a pretty good job of doubling down, and he has a good point. You want to double down on your strengths rather than shore up your weaknesses, because by shoring up your weaknesses, you could lose some strengths. It's like building a Pokemon. So weird. But like, you know how in Pokemon you have EVs? Sure, you could dump all your EVs into, let's go with the recent metagame, Iron Valiant. Its special defense sucks. It's 60 flat. You could drop 252 EVs in there and attempt to shore up that defense. Or you could just continue with either of its strengths and throw those 252 in speed, throw those 252 in special attack, throw those 4 in attack, put an energy booster on there, court drive that bad boy up with speed, and bada bing, bada boom, you're sweeping. You never have to worry about the defenses. So I definitely get Chris's mentality there. You want to double down. But in doing that, he sort of like, he re-engaged their thought processes. He didn't necessarily leave room for development, ironically enough, even with Nagi. And you can see because Prince was so light on them, well, at least for Nagi, in Nagi and Rayo's case, he was so light and allowed them to just reinforce their own ideals so much that they just didn't care. And they went back to their old ways because they had no new challenges. They had no new ways to think. Shigiri's the only one who doubled down, and I think is genuinely worth it because it's working out. But like Nagi and Rayo, the two other principal players on that team, because they were just told, do what you will, just better, they just decided to do what they did, but better. But obviously that just isn't good enough. So I think Noah, I can definitely see why a lot of people are saying Chris is the best master because he builds on their fundamentals. But I think you can get more out of Noah because Noah expects not just the independent work that you get from Lavahino, but he's willing to give guidance like Prince, leading to this like nice balance between the two. And I really want to see Snuffy. I want to know what Mark is like because I wonder what I really wonder what his teaching style is like. I wonder how many we have left. But let's see. Metavision. So it is cool that Isagi just came up with the technique, or like he named it that. And no, it doesn't seem to recognize it. He's like, Metavision. What is what kind of corny name is that? But legitimately, it seems something like that. But let's see. It's weird. It's kind of like I consistently keep track of everyone using my peripheral vision, and by doing so, I was able to read the game's overall flow, but that wasn't enough. I then realized that every player has their own sense of protagonism. If I can quash that, crush, not quash, that's too fancy of a word, but if I can crush that, I can bring down my enemy's level of play. Furthermore, if I link my egocentrism with that of my teammates, I could create a chemical reaction. Sorry, I've been rambling on endlessly. No, that's fine. Continue. I like it. But this is good. I like how Isagi's learned to verbalize it. Now that his thought process has changed, he's simplified everything into reasonable concepts that he can replicate and explain to other people. Sure, do I not want it to explain it? I don't want him to explain it to anybody else. And notably, I do think you do need a specific kind of brain or a specific kind of mindset to use Metavision. Like, I feel like Isagi could sit down with Igaguri and explain Metavision 20 times over, and Igaguri would never be able to get it. Same thing with Raichi. Heck, maybe even Shido. Like, that's the thing. I think Metavision is very suited to specific types of play styles. Like, someone as good as Shido would probably benefit from Metavision. But the way Shido works is that he works best as if he was playing alone. And all the other people there are just obstacles. We see that pretty plainly in the U20 game, where he only really has one ally in Toshise, and he's just running with it. So I don't think Metavision, something that cares about the location of all the players, would work well with him. Or at least he probably wouldn't care that much about it. Igaguri's dumb. Plain and simple. Nah, and Raichi seems just too aggressive for it. Once again, he wouldn't want to be like, and constantly updating his information. And look at the mental toll it takes at someone like Isagi. Someone who, from the start, his main weapon was spatial awareness. It was, where am I? Who am I? What am I in this space? And even he's like, this is undeniably taxing on my brain. Not to talk of the physical ramifications it has on me. So I think only characters like him, Sei, Rin, maybe probably the Masters, you would think. But even then, I don't know. I'm not sure who. I like those three are the main ones that come to mind. Maybe Nico. Nico was also a very big brain, big brainy boy thinker. I could see Aiku unlocking it like subconsciously. Like, you know how Ryo subconsciously unlocked a variation of Metavision, which allowed him to nearly break up Isagi's plan? I think I could see Aiku unlocking a subconscious version of it, something that he does naturally. You can almost see that he has a variation of Metavision in the original U20 game, where he's literally studying and inputting all the data and like running calculations on how good he can stop something. The main example you see that is when he's going up against Awakened Rin, when he's like calculating the variables and the numbers and stuff like that. So I definitely think it's possible for him, if not him already kind of having it. Once again, the high level that Isagi's at, especially influencing like protagonism, stuff like that, it's very, very up in the air for the number of characters who could directly access it. I'm assuming Ego has it. Probably does. He probably just doesn't say it because he doesn't utilize it. He doesn't utilize it as much. But let's see. Another thing I do like, I like how Noah's being supportive. He's like, yeah, no. You ain't stupid. Keep talking. Keep talking. This is what we're here for. I'm here to coach you on this ideology. And I like that. I like that. W no. Let's see. I want to hear more. Ah, that's nice. I bet that makes Isagi so happy. And like, you can see it in his face here. He's so overjoyed. But like, imagine meeting your idol, like the person who inspired you to do what you do now. Like, admittedly, I'm trying to think either in my actual life or YouTube. I mean, I have a couple of people I would like to meet. Like, if I could, like, get any decent size, I would like to meet a good chunk of people who inspired me. Like Lotus, Dion, Rhyme Style. Like, there are definitely people out there who I would like to meet as inspirations. It would be cool to sit down and hear, like, those inspirations. Be like, well, keep spitting. And I can definitely understand why Isagi gets so excited. Bro's even blushing a little bit. You know, he's a little excited. Okay, but Isagi, you are still on his bed, and he did change you, so watch out. Something may have already happened while you were... But regardless, so in that last play, my playmaking surpassed Kaiser. Now that I know what I can... Now I know what I lack, I want to start training. Understand? That's true. That's true. And I think... I do agree with the general consensus that, hypothetically, if you were to put Isagi through the wildcard program, he'd be unstoppable. Like, put current Isagi right now, take him out the next couple games for some reason, put him in the wildcard program that Kunigami was in, give him the willpower and determination to get through it, he would literally be fundamentally unstoppable. Make a duplicate, give him Noel Noah, or at least close to Noel Noah's stats, with Metavision, his variation of it, a monster, a demon, a beast, like whatever adjectives you need, he would be, because that's how powerful he would be. I don't think he's gonna have time for that. I'm not even sure how much physical training he can really do in between now and the next game, and the game after that, and before we go to the U20. But I don't know. It's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. Bro has a long way to go physically, which is interesting and concerning. I want to score goals next time, for sure. Isagi, you and the rest of the fandom, dog. We were like, I cannot tell you. There are certain times where I'm so happy that I'm like I don't like the week-to-week wait or the month-to-month wait for other longer series, or even, heck, the year-to-year wait or multi-year waits in between certain things. However, I will admit, there are some things I like having the week-by-week experience of. One of them is obviously Four Nights. It's just because I'm really invested in that verse and seeing the community develop around it. Really, really cool. And it's also a sequel series, so you just get a whole bunch of holdover from the previous community. But also Blue Lock, because there's nothing more hilarious than scrolling threads or looking online and seeing all the discussion about how people are itching, fiending, and scratching for Isagi to score a goal. And I'm there with them. Like legitimately, I completely understand the desire, because I am also sad that Isagi has not scored a single goal in over 50 chapters. I think it's nearly hitting 60. When did they? I think it's like chapter 147, I think is the last strike. Whichever one it is. It's in the 140s. That's the last time Isagi has scored a goal. I can understand the feeling. But let's see. I see. I can see why he selected you. Huh? He? You both share the same mindset and football philosophy. He and I were teammates over 10 years ago. He was the first person I considered as my rival, and an incredibly twisted football fanatic. Oh, the crazy architect who created the Blue Lock Project. Ego Jimbo. 10 years ago. How old is Ego? How old is Noah? What? I'm running so many. And the thing is, I knew this. I made a video on this one. I know this happened. But for some reason, my brain blinked on it. Let me think. 10 years. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Isagi was watching Noah 10 years ago. Who? But then why is he a no? Well, at least why is he seemingly a nobody? Is Ego not? Well, it would make sense if Ego's not his real name. But if that's the case, what? I mean, who knows? Probably 10 years ago, Noel wasn't the best striker, obviously. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why Jinpachi isn't that important. Or at least doesn't seem it. Like, bro seems like a full-on random. But then again, I guess if of all people to run a project like this, it would be someone like him. Someone who was once a rival to the number. So, wow. That explains it. That explains a lot, actually. His connections, his ability to make connections, his understanding of football, and the whole Ego man. Wow. Really likes it. I need an Ego backstory now. Like, forget the Nagi side manga. It's whatever. I could not care. Okay, I do like it though. More peak luck, so it's more peak luck. But regardless, forget that. Give me the Ego Jinpachi and Noel Noah rivalry backstory. I want to see that. Give me a whole side manga about that. Let me follow Ego from start to finish, and let the final chapter of that. Let it be like Adventures of Sinbad, where the final chapter is his first appearance in the narrative. I'd be down for that. I would love that. That would be so cool. But interesting. What's your relationship with Ego? We're brothers in arms. Although I'm the world's #1 and he's a zombie obsessed with creating zombie. Okay. So I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and assume that Ego had a very similar situation to Chigiri, where he was really, really good. He was really, really solid, and then he got hurt. But unlike Chigiri, his hurt was like unrecoverable. Like maybe he can't run anymore. You can't do that. If you can't run, you can't play soccer. Like you aren't gonna walk around on a soccer field. And with that being the case, and now he's stuck out of luck. So instead of becoming the world's #1, instead of chasing his old rival, Noel Noah, now he's just going to create somebody. And he's a zombie because he left the football scene. When you can't play, you're not going to be in it, really, unless you're a commentator. And it looks like Ego had no interest in that. But now that he's here, back on the football scene, essentially running it, Blue Lock TV is a major part of this world. Now he's a zombie, someone brought back to life by the sport, and is currently manipulating it in an attempt to create the #1 best striker. I like that. I like that. Okay, I like that. That's a twist that I feel like some people may have seen coming, but me personally, I don't know, it just never crossed my mind. But that's really, really cool. I wonder how he feels, though, because technically now Noel is Ego's employee. I wonder if they have conversation, like, when this happened, I wonder if Ego Lily picked up the phone and was like, hey, you're in the off season now, right? Yes. How about you come work for me? Ego, we're not doing, did you watch the game? Oh, Lord. And then I want to see a conversation between these two, especially knowing they were old rivals. What? Man, it's layers, bro. Okay, let me not try too quick. Let me keep it level real quick. Hold on. Noel and Ego were rivals. I see. Oh, by the way, while you were asleep, there was another auction. This time, 20 players from Blue Lock got offers from various clubs. Here are the newest Blue Lock rankings. Okay, so he just missed the game again. Once again, this is very much flashing back to third selection, where he just flat out missed the game from passing out from overexertion. All right, interesting. Darn, Karasu's number. How the mighty have fallen, dog. He was number 3. He did, yeah, because he's not. What team is he on? What team is he actually on? Since some players only have played one game so far. I think the rankings only is temporary. Oh, Karasu may have been on Rin and Shido's team. If that's the case, okay, that makes sense. He's 12 because he only played one. Okay, I can let it slide. I can let it slide. Okay, never mind. I think of these rankings as only temporary. This time, PKG was the team who sat out. So, and that, I believe, yeah, that is Rin's team. So it makes sense. All their people would say the same. Corona, W-Mans, number 13. We love Corona. We respect Corona, our short king. But let's see. Corona got 24 million. Nice. And that's, I believe that's the same that Isagi had last game, which is crazy to think about. Aiku, 27. And I don't think he's playing as a striker, right? Because he's on Baro's team. So he wouldn't be playing as a striker. Baro wouldn't let him. So he got 27 million just by playing defense. That's a lot. That's a lot. Then again, now that I think about it, he was in the last game with that. So like Corona is getting his first salary ever because he's just fresh on the scene this game. Meanwhile, Aiku's had 2 games to show off his defense. So I can see why Aiku's higher. Gagamaru, Godamaru. We love and praise Godamaru. He didn't play in the first game, right? Yeah, I don't think he did. He was a goalie in this game. So I'm getting 28K off the rip. Once again, Corona and Godamaru, they're doing good. Yukimaya, 29,000. It makes sense. He got his goal. He was running around. He had that good blitz attempt down the field that was blocked by Prince, but you can't blame him. He's a 17-year-old fighting a master, like a full-grown man. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to do that. Shigiri only had 30 mil, though. Not sure how I feel about that. I get it. He didn't do too much crazy stuff after his goal, but like his goal was still smooth. It was still buttery. It was the first goal. It was the literal only goal that he scored pretty much literally just by himself. Like, I don't think anyone assisted him. He got the ball and zoomed and scored a goal. He did what Rayo failed to do. You're telling me he only got 30 mil? Only 30 bands times 100? Like, what? Come on now. You're telling me my bro ain't do better than that? 30 mil? I think he's undervalued. I definitely think he's undervalued, especially with how good he is now. Like, the biggest issue he had in the U20 match was stamina, and that issue seems erased. He played the whole game just fine. So Shigiri not being higher with a goal, blocks, the movement, the speed, that's a little bit whack. Don't get me wrong. Don't flame me now, but I think that's a little bit whack. I think he should at least have like 5, not at least 10 mil more. Like, especially considering who I remember is up next. Shigiri should definitely be higher, and we'll get to it. Gain to play in the matches is a given, and of course, owners will bid a premium on goal scorers. Yeah, goal scorers, which is crazy to think that Shigiri's that low because he literally scored the first goal of the match. I don't know. And I get it. You know, Yuki also scored a goal, but he did that. It was even watching people can tell that was a pity goal. Like, Isagi literally bunted it towards him. Meanwhile, Shigiri did it on his own. He has his own goal formula that he can replicate. I don't know how I feel about that. And maybe there's just the Shigiri standard be popping out, but 30 mil is kind of low. It's kind of low. I get it. It's his first game, so he doesn't have like too much to show for it, but it's also Yuki Maya and Gagamaru's first game. And I'll say Shigiri blew both of them out of the water in terms of performances. But that's not all the owners are looking at. Yeah, I'd say swap Rayo and Shigiri. And like, I know Rayo did really, really good in that game. Like, let's see what Noah has to say before I comment on Rich Boy. A playmaker who created numerous chances and dominated the midfield. There are clubs who highly value this sort of player. Despite Blue Locks aiming to create the world's #1 striker, remember, this auction is more than just proving your worth as a striker. What's my current value? Now, here's the current top 5. All right, before we get into that, Rayo being at 40 mil is kind of cracked. Kind of crazy. Especially considering, I mean, I guess it's weighted fair relative to Isagi, right? But him having 40 mil when he got 1 successful assist. That's it. You look back at the game, he did nothing. He missed. Well, no, he didn't miss. He got blocked by Godamaru, snuffed him in terms of his 1 goal scoring. He got 1 good goal through Nagi. And he played good defense, I guess. But once again, like, how is there a 10 million gap between him and Shigiri when Shigiri was not only playing defense, not only being an offensive threat on the midfield, and not only getting his own goal? Like, what? I don't know. I think that's the Rayo fan bias. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And maybe I'm just biased. But Shigiri being 10 million yen below Rayo when Rayo got, like, if we're just looking at quantifiable successful stats, if we were to lay out the stat board, I value a goal higher. I value 1 goal higher than 1 assist. That's just me, though. That's just me. 2 assists, then maybe it's able to equal a goal. Don't get me wrong. But 1 assist, just 1. Remember, nothing else worked. They only got 2 goals. One of them was Nagi, one of them was Shigiri. That's it. Rayo shouldn't be 40 mil. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rayo fans. All 2 of you out there. No, I'm kidding. I know there are a bunch of Rayo fans. But all y'all out there, I don't like it. But let's see. Kunigami, Godagami. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Let me see what they say. Let me say before I go talking smack. In 5th place, Kunigami Renosuke? I'm not sure how to say his name. Boasting impressive physical prowess and dueling abilities, scoring goals regardless of appearance. Add that all together and his value nearly doubled from 24 million to 47 million. Despite it all, the player who jumped Kunigami Renosuke in rankings and almost tripled his previous value. Isagi. But once again, this may be the Shigiri bias in me. And it is. I'm not going to even say may. But what did Kunigami even do in the last game? He got 1 goal. Barely. Like, and I'll admit, it was a heat goal. Don't get me wrong. Him running out, leaping, and kicking right off the missed direct shot. Don't get me wrong. It was pretty heat. But, like, once again, how is he at 47? Like, I guess power versus speed here, but it's not like Kunigami did any good defending. It's not like he did any good midfield plays. It's not like he was a playmaker at all. He didn't even say anything after his 1 stolen goal in the match. And there were like 20 chapters after that. I don't know. These rankings are kind of, I may have to do my own ranking just based on the game. And I may have to reread the whole thing, which I wouldn't care about. But I don't know. That's kind of, and once again, you know what? No, because Rayo got 40 mil. And it's his first game. So I can't devalue Shigiri by saying, oh, well, it's his first game too, so I can't really do it. Nah. No way Kunigami. Well, I can see the thing. I can give Kunigami more leeway than Rayo because he also got a goal last game. So he has 2 goals on a stat sheet, while Rayo has none and 1 assist, and Shigiri has 1 goal, not an assist. If anything, I could see the ranking being Rayo 3rd, Shigiri 2nd, Kunigami 1st, in terms of just those 3, that former team. Shigiri being in last and by such a wide margin. There's less of a gap between Shigiri and Rayo than there is between Kunigami and Rayo, and that just doesn't seem right to me. I'm spending way too much time. Jump. In 4th place, Isagi Yoichi. Current value, 50 million. W-mans. This is one I can definitely understand. Not only did he have multiple crazy offensive plays where he literally like ran through the entire midfield and just was casually styling on midfielders, strikers, and defenders alike. That's one thing he did. Obviously, he has 2 assists. I think 2 assists should equal about 1 goal in terms of value, just based on like my own ideology and stuff like that. And with that, combined with his amazing defensive plays against Chris, against Nagi and Rayo, against all that, I can definitely see why he's 50 mil. I can see why he's 4, even though he has not scored a goal yet. He's that, and plus he has the previous game where he got an assist too. So really, he has 3 assists. So he has a goal and a half. If I'm equating equating assists to goals and stuff like that. So I can definitely respect that. And it's cool to see Isagi. Oh, like 50 Bill, not Bill, Mel. Furthermore, the club bid the 50 million was none other than BM. Ain't that neat? Ain't that neat? Same value as Ness. So now those two are equals, which makes sense. They're both very, at least so far, both have served specifically as playmakers for other strikers. Whether it be Yuki Maya and Kunigami, in Isagi's case, Ness is all about Kaiser. So I can definitely see that. Positioning, winning balls back, planning in every aspect of the game. The most dangerous player on the pitch, the Nets, Luka Modric. Blue Lux. Oh wait, let me hit the Noah voice real quick. Blue Lux heart is undoubtedly Isagi Yoichi. That's how the overseas media views you. Thank you so much. Now, to the top three. First and third place. Bachira Meguro. Current value, 66 million. 2 goals. Yeah, I can give that. That's 4 assists. And he's literally backpacking his whole team. So I can't even get mad at him being third. I can respect that. That's definitely understandable. Oh, and he even got an offer from the club he currently plays for. Okay, that's neat. That's neat. Bachira. His value is way higher than last time. While we were playing Manshine, the goal he scored against Ubers increased his value. However, his goal was overshadowed by a spectacular super goal, the one that captivated the world and instantly shot him into ace status. And here we are, the most overrated player. Nagi. One goal, that's it. He did nothing else. I get it. It was a heat goal. You can go back to my review. I lost my mind at the, quintuple fake out. Yes, it was crazy. It was gorgeous. He did nothing else. That's his first game. And you're telling me he shot up 88 mil? I think he's overhyped. And this is coming from, like, realistically telling you the truth. Spoiling a video. Well, I guess it's not a video anymore because now my opinion's changed a whole bunch. But before the game against Manchester City, Nagi was my favorite character. I loved him. I thought he was fantastic. I loved his design. I loved his mentality. I loved his playstyle. I loved everything he did. He was fantastic. I was liking his development. I was liking all that. So obviously, I was a Nagi stan. But as a former Nagi stan, well, not former. I still stan Nagi a bit. But as a Nagi stan myself, I can tell you Nagi's overrated. I'm sorry. One really, really cool goal can't be enough when you did nothing else for the rest of the game. Bro had one attempt at playmaking, failed. Got stuffed out by Kaiser, casually. Got stuffed by Isagi, again. Bro was getting nothing but shut down, except for one time that he himself said can never be replicated. It literally couldn't. We saw him try to replicate it again in the same match. Couldn't do it. Now he's overrated, dog. Do I get it? Do I absolutely get why? Yes, on a sheer spectacle front, it was great. It was the best goal we've gotten. Arguably ever. I say the only goal that really comes close to, like, sheer spectacle-wise, as crazy as what Nagi's quintuple fake-out was Shido's axe kick, where he backflipped and drop-kicked the ball straight into the goal in the U20 match. That is the only match on a sheer spectacle front that I can say is like, whoa, that's better than Nagi's goal. But even still, definitely, just like I think Ray was kind of overhyped, at least relative to Shigiri, I definitely think Nagi's overhyped. Nagi's ranked higher than me. Like, even Isagi's shot, like, Nagi didn't do anything in that game. 1 goal. But let's see. Don't get flustered. Like I said, these rankings are only temporary. And now the current Blue Lux #1, the Tyrant. Oh, he changed it up. The Tyrant who scored a hat trick in Ubers versus Barcha match. Baro Shohei. Current value, 100 million. He's still only a third as valuable as the real King Kaiser, though. Baro fans go eat something, but regardless. Alright. I'll put some respect on Baro's name. Though I think the only reason he scored 3 goals is because he probably is the only real striker on that team. He's probably in the same situation that Kaiser's usually in, where he has just no competition as a striker. Because who's on that team? 3 defenders. Like, Ryu was the only one who could arguably try and be, and Aiku was attempting to be a striker, but he even said mentally that, not mentally, in a flashback, that those days are gone for him. So, realistically, Barrow is the only guy. So I can definitely respect the hat trick, but it's like, if Rin, and it'd be more impressive if he got a hat trick when he was playing with Bachira, Rin, Shido, Isagi, Kunigami, Jigiri, like with a whole bunch of other strikers. He's playing with 3 defenders. And I don't know. I'm not sure who, like, because I'm assuming every single team will have a sub-master character. Because we already had it twice. We have Kaiser, we have Agi, and even in the first match, we had that one dude with, he kind of has a hairstyle similar to Barrow. That one dude who worked with Otoya and Bachira. We have a sub-mentor character for each one. So maybe there's another striker in that on Ubers. But I don't know. I respect Barrow getting the hat trick, but it's against, like, arguably the weakest team in the league. Like, I don't remember, I'm trying to think. I do not remember Bachira's team having any sort of defense, like, at all. I think they literally just got blown through. And it was mainly Bachira and Otoya and that one dude that were carrying in a lot of Hina's goal, obviously. So, I'm a little bit, eh. And I wonder if Snuffy even played. And if Snuffy played, he probably just played to support Barrow. Considering he's like a role-filling guy, that's literally what Ego described him as. Barrow probably just said, hey, join in, help me get a goal. And Snuffy's like, shoot, I don't care. Sure, let's do it. And then he did that. So, I don't know. I can respect the hat trick. I can see why it got him that. 3 goals is crazy. Just even with my, like, assist equals goal metric, by having 3 goals, Barrow would have 6 assists, which is better than anything anyone has done yet in the 2 games. And he did it in 1. So I can respect that he shot up to 100 mil. That I will give you Barrow fans this. It is impossible to deny. At current, since he's the one who got a hat trick, he is the most valuable numerically. Do I think he's the best? I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. I cannot judge. I won't judge new Barrow yet as a player until I actively see him play. But right now, if I had to use previous Barrow as a comparison, he's still not the best player. I'd probably give that to Rin or Shido. I would say Nagi, but I'm not really. Nagi's good in one specific situation. Rin and Shido can work pretty much anywhere. So I'm still going to give the top spot to them, and they haven't even played their second game yet. Is it still impressive that Barrow got this high in his first game with a hat trick? Yes. I respect it. Don't care though. Nah, whatever. Holy moly. And lucky for you, he's your next opponent. I don't know, it's like, perfect. Dethrone the king. You did it once, do it again. That's right, our next match is against Ubers. Start preparing, Isagi Yoichi. That's so like you, Barrow. Yes, sir. Send me the game footage. I'll analyze his every move. Evolved king. I'm gonna devour you. Hey, yo. As he sees Barrow stand on top as king, Isagi's blood begins to boil. With his next challenge in sight, it's time for a formula strategy against Ubers to further drive up his value. Continuing in Chapter 205, Men of the Match. All right. Oh, and a new episode Nagi's out. So, I'll see if I can find that. Overall, despite the fact that they valued my boy, they indubitably devalued my boy Chigiri and overhyped both Reo and Nagi and even Kunigami. Chapter speak. Not only do we get to see Isagi living out his dream, you know, getting to talk wholeheartedly with his mentor and his literal just like savior, Noel Noah. We also get to see Noah be like, hey yo, Isago, you're doing pretty good. We see the values. We can have a whole discussion about that. It's good to see the new rankings. It's good to hype up Barrow for the next match, have a proper antagonist and stuff like that. We're in really, really, really good settings. And obviously the big thing about this chapter, at least to me, like more than the rankings, more than the hype up of this next match, realistically to me, is the fact that Isagi now knows that Ego and Noah his two mentors were rivals, which is really, really cool to see. However, that's what I think. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notification will miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. It's more for as low as count 'em one, now nothing, like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, you can now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with a marker, writing off.